Good morning. It's Friday, April 29th, 2011. It's been a very interesting week. Started out last weekend over Easter, of course, having a big blowout with my family and being actually escorted out of the house by the police and brought down to the hospital. Okay. Interesting situation. Here I am, angry, upset, super tense, full of pain, fibromyalgia firing up like no tomorrow. Very well vocalizing that I strenuously object to RX medications. In fact, I have discontinued all of the medications that the medical and RX communities had me on. Okay, discontinued them. I don't take any of them, not even the blood pressure ones anymore. The only thing that I use now to medicate my symptoms is marijuana. And I have to tell you that since I've started doing that, I feel better. I feel good. I don't know, but it's just my opinion. But isn't the point of medicine to make the patient feel good, to feel better, to live better? So why is it such a struggle to get the medication that does that for you? Well, let's get on with my story. I get to the hospital after making all of my objections about this, and I ask the emergency room doctor there because he asked me, well, who's your primary care physician? I said, I don't have one. I fired him because we disagree on medications. He refuses to treat me holistically, insists on giving me medications that he cannot tell me are safer than medical marijuana, but yet will not give me medical marijuana. So I fired him, and I don't have one. So he asks me, about what I'm going through, and I tell him, I'm very upset or angry, I'm tense, my whole body's filled with pain because of all of this anxiety and stuff that's going on. He says, well, what can I do for you? And I said, well, I need to be medicated. And I said, would you please provide me with some marijuana, and I'll be fine. A couple of hits off a joint, I'll relax, I'll be more easy to deal with and able to concentrate and do what needs to be done to take care of myself in this situation. He says he can't do that, of course. The insurance industries in the United States have a very powerful grip on the medical communities, and if they are to start treating people with holistic medicines, they've made it clear that they will challenge their licenses to practice medicine. So anyway, he says he can't do that, and he comes back with a prescription for 30 hydrocodones. People, the medical community had me addicted to narcotic painkillers for 16 years. And now, it's the only thing they'll give me in situations like that. Even though they know that I have been addicted to it. But they will not give me marijuana. Isn't that crazy? Anyway, he gives me that. I have no choice but to take his poisons because they won't give me medicine. And they determined that, well, I can't stay in the hospital. There's no room in the psych ward, which, like, I really belong in a psych ward because I'm angry, right? Anyway, they find that the only real option for me is to go to crisis center in Presque Isle, for, it's a crisis help center where, people in really bad situations get help, finally. Well, I get down there, get checked in, and they start helping me, okay? And the first thing they do is they hand me this book. And they tell me, hang on to this, don't lose it. This is like a Bible for people like you. And I'm like, well, why hasn't anybody ever given me this Bible before, And I start looking at it, and what it is a guide to services for rustic families, okay, for low-income people. And this is literally an A to Z book. Any kind of help that you need to survive, you can find right in here. But if you don't have this book, finding this information is very hard, very difficult. They don't make it easy for you to find. And I had the fact is, I had to be in an emergency crisis situation before they would give me this book. Well, lo and behold, 3 days in the crisis center, and my situation is starting to look up. Okay, my apartment, the funds for my apartment have been approved. My food stamp problem. Apparently, after I called Nicole Jonro last week and complained that, I simply cannot survive on $16 a month food stamps. And I thought it was very much wrong that a rustic county, I don't know about the whole state of Maine, but a rustic county refuses to give you food stamps unless you apply for HEAP assistance, even if you do not need that assistance. I don't know. To me, that stinks of fraud. I mean, really think about it. What do they intend to do with my my bogus application for assistance that I don't need? I won't get it, so why do they need for me to apply for it? What do they intend to do with my application? These are legitimate questions, and somebody needs to look into that and find out what's going on up here in Aroostook County. Okay, anyway, I tell, I'm talking with the crisis counselors there constantly because, the only way you're going to get answers is if you ask questions and you let people know what you're going through. So, I spent several, days and nights explaining my situation, and one of the counselors there will remain nameless because I don't know if he's supposed to do this or not. Might even have gotten himself in trouble if he was found out about it. So I'll just say this: Counselor X comes to me and tells me that he's got the name of a doctor that treats combination, holistic and conventional combination. He treats you according to your needs to make you feel good, which is the point of medicine. And he hands me the phone number of this doctor. Now, I'm going to cover his name because I don't want this guy to be swamped with business all of a sudden. I mean, I'm sorry, but I need to get in with him first. I got to look out for myself, just like everybody else does. But he gives me the name and number of this doctor on this piece of paper. Well, I'm all caught up in the moment, and I'm just happy to have the number, so I fold it up, and I put it in my pocket. Forgetful me, I forget what I do with it. So later on, I'm looking around when I'm fixing to sign out of the crisis center and go back home and start working on my situation now that everything's going the right direction. okay, and I can actually get some things done. So I'm looking around the crisis and okay, where's that number? Where's that number? I need to get a hold of this doctor. And the guy that gave me the person that gave me the number to begin with is almost as frantic as I am. Like, he can't just. I'm wondering, why can't you just write the number down again and give it to me, But he's asking me specifically what I did with that piece of paper that he gave me. Okay, well, I just blew it off at the time because I didn't know, what his concern with that was. So I just blew that off and got the number out of the, again, wrote it down and put it in with my paperwork to take home with me. When I got home, all right, I started going through my pockets and I found the piece of paper that he wrote the number on. And I happened to notice that there's something on the back side of that piece of paper. And I start looking at that, and I'm like, well, okay, just out of curiosity, maybe there's something on here I need to see, and that's why he was concerned about me having that piece of paper. Turns out there's an article on here, or the start of an article, that he wanted me to see. The title of it is Confessions of a Non-Compliant Patient by Judy Chamberlain. I highly recommend that everyone find this article, read it, because this is exactly the kind of thing that you're up against if you decide to take care of yourself, to empower yourself, and go against the mainstream of medicine, or quote medicine. Okay. I highly recommend that if you are struggling like I am to take control of your own life and live it the way you want to live it, and you're up against the troubles that I've been up against, find this article and read it. It will show you right off the bat that you are not alone and that you are not crazy, even though they will try to make you look crazy, make you seem crazy. They will even try to brainwash you into thinking that you are crazy. And if you think I'm crazy, read the article. You'll see. So anyway, that's the latest update to my battles for the use of medical marijuana. And of course, it continues. This is not quite over yet. I still haven't got myself a physician that will treat me holistically. I am going to get a hold of this doctor today and see if he's taking new patients. Hopefully he is. At any rate, I will keep you updated as to what's going on, and just want everybody to know that don't stop. Don't give up. No matter what, you have the right to live your life your way. Remember this, no matter what they tell you, in the end, you are your own doctor. And they will call you crazy for saying something like that. They'll lock you up, put you in a straitjacket. But look at it this way. You are the one who determines what goes into your body and what does not. All a doctor can do is make recommendations. He cannot make you take anything. He cannot make you do anything. You have the right to refuse or accept whatever his recommendations are. And people, I strongly suggest that you start empowering yourself. The first thing to do is educate yourself about the truth behind medicines. Don't just take their word for it. I mean, look at all the recalls. Look what's happening as a result of medicines they've put on the market. Testing, literally testing on the public to find out, oops, we're having birth defects, it's causing diseases, it's killing people, this, that, and the other, and then they have to recall it, and of course they get sued, and that it's a racket, people. It's a racket. You think I'm crazy? Check into it. Empower yourself. Teach yourself. Information is free. It's not easy to find, but it is free, and it is out there. And if you want to find it, you will. You gotta dig through all the crap that it's buried under to get to it. But if you keep digging and you're persistent, and you don't just trust everything that you see, you check and double check and triple check and make sure that the people who are putting the information out there are not in somebody's pocket. They're not putting it out there biasly. At any rate, I'm going to get this one onto my my playlist, and I've got work to do, so I'll get back to you. You guys have a nice day.